Wendell, what kinds of precautions can we take to protect ourselves from cyberstalking?
So there are a few key steps we can take to protect yourself from cyber stalkers. First, do a search of your full name and add your city and state in Google to Google.
Oh,
So
wow.
you'll be surprised to find out sometimes how much information could be out there that you don't know that's out there about yourself. And so if you see these things, the same thing with cyber stalkers, they can see the same thing too. If your address is out there, you can also use Google Maps and see the picture of where your house is, what it looks like. So that's
Wow.
why it's good to see that first. And with doing that at first, then you can go on to wherever you find some information about yourself. You could go onto your online to different online platforms and change your privacy settings. And when you're changing your privacy settings, you want to limit the amount of information that you're putting out there, right? So you don't want to put every single thing about yourself. The other thing that to do is to run a credit report. So every year you're allowed to get a free credit report from the three major companies. That's Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, and also sign up for a free credit monitoring service. We have Credit Karma, for instance, and Credit Sesame. These um, companies that anything that goes on your credit report, it will alert you. And that way you can see if somebody is, it can be an ex-partner maybe took out a credit card on your name. And that's one of the other things cyber stalkers do, right? To tarnish your reputation, they may take a credit card or buy something under your name and run up your credit and run up your bills, and you're in trouble. The other thing that I will add is do not accept friend requests from strangers,
Mhm.
right? Remember when we were kids, one of the things that our parents would tell us is that don't talk to strangers. It's the same thing as when we're adults and we're online. So only accept friend requests from people you've actually met in person. And not necessarily the person you just met today and you Facebook, friend them tonight, but somebody that you have a relationship with already. And then that person could become your friend
Yeah,
online.
that is a great rule of thumb. And I that's something I will say that I have practiced all the time. I only accept friend requests on social media from people that I've actually met in person. That's been my personal rule. Uh, Unfortunately, after my cyber stalking experience, though, I'm really rarely on Facebook. I don't want, because I know the feeling of being tracked. I don't like to necessarily announce my locations. Sometimes you post a photo and you can tag exactly what restaurant you're in, and you can tag exactly what location, drop a pin, and all that stuff. And it makes it so simple for anyone to figure out where you are.
Yes, that's a great point. Geotagging is a cyber stalker's main source of information.
Absolutely.
Sometimes we forget that we can take a picture, in front of, oh, this is where I am today, but the person can see from your cell phone, your GPS on your cell phone, let's say Facebook, tagged with Facebook and said, you're at so and so street on so and so corner, right?
Absolutely.
Another thing to protect yourself against cyber stalking is, for instance, when you're online, especially on a social media platform, don't put your favorite restaurant or your favorite cafe. Oh, this is where I'm meeting my friends for dinner tonight. That's
Mm-hmm.
another way for cyber stalkers to track you.
Right. And one thing I've noticed is, like you were saying, that's one of the main sources for them to get that information. So if you're somebody who has a routine, like you have that favorite coffee shop that you go to every single morning, that's not something that you want to display. You don't want to show that you have this particular routine that you do on a daily basis, because it makes it so much easier for that person to figure out your time, your schedule, where you go each morning, each afternoon, and all that stuff. You don't want that out there.
Exactly. And you say you put something like that, your favorite Starbucks on the corner of X Street and Y Avenue, and one of the things you don't want to do is use public Wi-Fi as an example, right? You go and doing personal business on public Wi-Fi. When
Oh,
you're
wow.
sitting in these public Wi-Fis, the person who's sitting in the same cafe can actually eavesdrop on your device, so they can see everything that you're doing,
Oh, interesting.
right? So
So,
that's
okay. So if I'm at a public cafe that has public Wi-Fi, I shouldn't be conducting any sort of personal business, anything that has to do with my credit cards or my social security number, stuff like that.
exactly, absolutely do not do that. If you have to do something like that while you're outside, invest and pay for a VPN. It's a virtual private network, a remote that puts a secure access between your computer and a secured server so that the information you're typing in is encrypted. So the person who's sitting in the same cafe, for instance, will be unable to see what you're doing.
In my personal experience, my cyber stalker had sent me a email that was masked as a government agency. And when I opened that email, he had some kind of tracking software that was able to surreptitiously, through my IP address, get my exact location of where I was. And then he took that information and posted it publicly all over social media, even though it was something that I was trying to keep private. And of course, I didn't even want him to know that information. So there was even, in that email, there was even a link that I thought I considered a keylogger. Thank God I didn't click on it, but I know that this is also a thing that they use in phishing emails, where if you get some kind of strange email and it says, please click here, you should never click the link, because sometimes what that does is it installs tracking software or some kind of bug where that person can then see everything you're typing on your computer.
Yes, yes. So that's called spyware. And one of the things, or a couple of things you could do to mitigate that. First, what you just described is phishing emails. So it's one of the things is to educate ourselves about phishing emails. Do not accept emails from anybody who you don't know, right? That you're not, that, and most important, that you did not expect your emails. So for instance, sometimes if you're with a friend who's going to send you some pictures, they may call you and tell you, hey, I'm sending you pictures, right? Do not click on links as you described. And once these spyware keyloggers are on your system, one of the things you can do is to make sure that you have an updated antivirus software and anti-spyware software and run it consistently to look for malicious software like this. The other thing that I would say you could do is to change your password often. Either you change it every 3 months or so, or you get a password that's a long phrase, like a song that you know that you like, and you can change it with the numbers here and there, but make it very difficult for people to, for anybody to know, including somebody you're dating, right? The other thing to do is have different passwords for different accounts. Your bank account password should not be the same as your Facebook password.
Right.
So those type of things are very important.
Yes, generally speaking, like you said before, it's like when your parents told you when you were a kid, don't talk to strangers. Well, we unfortunately now have this World Wide Web where anyone and everyone can find us. And so there's, like you said, ways to protect ourselves, even with dating apps and such. Be careful what kind of information you're putting on those apps, because you never know who's looking. You never know who's watching. They could be great, good people, but at the same time, there are others who have malintent.
True, that's true. And I would make a suggestion for dating apps as an example, to use a Google Free Voice account instead of putting your own phone number. So use a Google Free Voice account, You can create a separate email account towards that's attached at the dating site. And should, you know, your date turns into marriage, you remove everything. But something starts happening, you can always get a new Google Voice number
Ah,
and a new email.
that's
Uh,
smart. That's smart. And so you're saying be cautious in regards to when you are transferring from the app to personal, like information, ways for that person to reach you, like WhatsApp or anything like that, or like you said, use a Google Voice number instead of your own while you get to know each other.
exactly, exactly. Once you know each other better, then you use your, oh, here's my real number.
Got it. Well, these are such handy tips on ways to keep our eyes open and be completely aware of this type of situation. I'm so grateful to you for these great tips.
Oh, thank you.